Welcome back. We're having fun talking sports right here at Channels TV Sports Center in Lagos, Nigeria. And if you're just joining us, not to worry, you've not missed so much. You can still be part of the fun, and you can talk to us if you want. Yes, you can on Twitter. We're Channels_sports, Facebook Channels-sports. You can send us an email. It's sportstonight@channelstv.com. Particularly this issue of the NFF auditing their account. It's a directive from the Ministry of Sport, and we've just listened to the president of the Nigerian Football Federation, Maju Pinnick, saying, look, it's not a problem. We will audit the account. Our books are clean. Let's give an assessment of football in Nigeria in 2016. I want you to be part of this one. Let's begin with you, Alfred. 2016. What sort of a story was it for Nigerian football in your perspective?
For me, the story for me that got everybody talking was Rangers International winning the league after 34 years. That's my honest assessment, because this was a season that started with, of course, we know the changes made in our football by the league management company, and how when it comes to organizing matches, ensuring that matches are credible, following that up, and the kind of football that is played. Rangers got more points on the road than most other clubs did, and it just made a difference for them. And the story is waited for 34 years
they were
to win.
phenomenal.
So it just got Twitter talking, social media talking.
That's
a lot of people mentioned it. And at the national team level, perhaps the biggest of them all is the men winning bronze in the Olympics.
Okay.
Given the circumstances which they qualified.
That's right.
And to cap it up, the good story of our girls defending the trophy against all odds. The downside is the standoff.
I like this part of your story, Alfred, starting with how the league has developed, what Enugu Rangers did, and it rubbed off on national team football. It's a revelation in
Special mention must be mentioned Nigerian Football Federation. The choice of Janatro as the coach of the Super Eagles, one defining factor that just made the Super Eagles a lot of belief in that team. People that you don't expect to play, expect in quotes, in our standards, we look at our team selection in time past, you don't expect, they now get opportunity to play, they deliver. Now the Super Eagles is going back to the greatness that we know. 2 games on the bounce, maximum points, and everybody's like, hey,
let's see what was.
Let's see what 2 games away. It is out of 4 games. We are 2 games away from playing in the World Cup. Is that close?
Joseph, that look on your face, is it a different story for you?
Nigerian football has been on the downside as far as I'm concerned in 2016. You see, no matter what, every year someone must emerge as the winner of the Nigerian Professional Football League. So it is news, because Rangers did it for the first time in a very long time. But someone must emerge. But look at Nigerian football. When it comes to football, Nigeria remains a force to reckon with. We're not qualifying for the Nations Cup. Says a lot. I mean, you can't explain why the Super Eagles will not qualify for the Nations Cup twice in a row. So for me, that caps it all. Yes, we went to the Olympics, but if we had arrived earlier, I think we would have done better. Maybe win silver, or would have won the gold medal. Who says we can't? I mean, look at it and say the female football, for me, we failed to qualify for the Olympics. Yes, we won the African Cup of Nations. Thank God for the girls. I mean, they did well in that one. But if you look at Nigerian football in 2016, we should have done better.
I totally agree with you. So Alfred Okoligwe says this is cool, particularly the way we started with the league. Joseph Atewe says no. Nigerian football didn't really impress him. Peter Dodo Mayana Rufai says it's been a tale of ups and downs for football in Nigeria. Let's listen to him. We'll be right back. Stay.
It's been ups and downs, indeed. And our football has really witnessed rough journeys, and on some occasions we've experienced joy, happiness. We've seen situations where we never knew if we'll be making it through to a major competition. But in general, we've had beautiful moments, lovely moments we could reflect, on and say, yes, we did very well in terms of soccer, football, But the fact that we are not going to AFCON, which is one of the major tournaments of the African continent, happens to be something that we sports lovers are not too happy about. But we are also, at the same time, still saying to the authority, for a job still well done, if you look at the achievements so far in the different age categories, then you can say yes. It's just that when you look at the term, the word there, the category, the Super Eagles. But you look at other categories, you look at other levels, you will see that Nigeria did very well. We get to the final. You cannot just always go for a competition and always be the winner. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. That's what makes the sport itself. It gives us that understanding of the sport. It gives us the understanding of respect for one another. It gives us the understanding of fair play.
Football fans in Nigeria, that's your answer right there. It's not win at all costs. Joseph Atewe, Peter Rufai says, when you get into these games, you should have an understanding that you need to respect the game and that the game is fair play.
Well, Brazil, for all team, got a beating of their life in 2014 when they were destroyed by Germany in that one, but they got to the semis. You look at the Super League, at least qualify for the Nations Cup. Even if you crash out of the group stage, at least you qualified. With the caliber of players we have at this point, qualifying says a lot.
I think not going to the Nations Cup, perhaps the lowest that we can, the lowest we can get to. And I think moving away from that, we learned our lessons. We just learned that you have to start early, get your points early, because it cost us. By the time we started dropping points in the qualifiers, a competition qualifiers where we went through with 3 coaches. At some point, the man that we brought in as the Guardiola of Africa ran away couldn't stand the pressure in the kitchen and all of that. And so that put the team under pressure. But now, the calm mean of somebody like Genatro and the massive support is getting from the Nigerian Football Federation. That is why it's key that whatever it is that the Nigerian Football Federation is doing now should be supported, because it is key that come August, if we decide to, at this time now, rock the house before August, you might not just find that level of cohesion. We are almost there. 2 games and we'll be in the World Cup.
That's right.
And we should just don't try to do anything that will disrupt that flow, because the fallout of it is that it's business if Nigeria is at the World Cup. If we have been to the Nations Cup now, programs would have been everywhere, sponsors would have been, we wouldn't have got the recession. Money would have been coming in, but now, because the top brand of our football, which is the Super Eagles and not the Nations Cup, it affects everywhere. Now that we are at an advantage, the Algerians and the Cameroonians will give an arm and a leg to where we are. We shouldn't do anything that will just dislodge us from where we are.
Oh, very sad. Nigeria will not feature at the 2017 AFCON. Joseph cannot understand that one. Even Dodo Mayana mentioned it. Amaju Pinnick also mentioned it. Alfred is also feeling the pain. I'm sure you football fans in Nigeria feeling it. But just remember, it's for the love of the game. Fair play. Let's see if the Super Eagles can put themselves together, give us a fantastic qualifying round for the World Cup, make it to Russia, and then do something impressive. That's what we're looking forward to. Let's get on with the show and talk about the CAF Awards. For the 2017 awards, it will be Sadio Mane and, of course, Riyad Mahrez challenging current winner Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And if you look at that list, somebody already saying, I know Nigerians there. We know. These are the nominees. And I've said, yes, Mahrez did everything for Leicester, Alfred. But look closely at Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. These coaches might just say, this guy and his consistency, we'll put him there again.
A player for, like somebody mentioned, Litamata is no less a person. That if Pogba can be bought for £98 million, and then this guy is worth over £120 million as it's the poster boy of Gabonese football. I was in Gabon in 2012 when he hosted the Nations Cup. He's somebody that is on major billboards in the city of Libreville and every other city in Gabon, loved by his country. I started with Saint-Etienne way back. A lot of people didn't know that he played for Saint-Etienne before moving over to Borussia Dortmund. He's done very well. The club this season is struggling.
Yeah.
But he's been consistent with the goals. And even when he had issues, disciplinary issues, he came back and still kept delivering for the club. And it's no surprise that he's on the list. And I won't be surprised if he wins it.
I won't be also, but for you,
but I will be surprised.
You will be surprised.
Yes, I will be surprised.
But so for you, is Mahrez or Mahrez?
Well, you see, don't forget it's an individual award. And the CAF Player of the Year is a year under review. What happened in 2016? A lot happened in 2016. 17 goals, 11 assists, if I'm correct with that stat. I mean, was enough to see Leicester City. I'm talking about Riyad Mahrez's contribution to the team winning their maiden title. Talking about the English Premier League, the best in the world. And not just that, he won the France PFA Player of the Year out there in the English Premier League. That alone,
which league is the best in the world?
Well, I mean, arguably the best in the world. Look at it, say, I mean, that alone should put Riyad Mahrez ahead of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Don't forget, in 2016, there was no Nations Cup. I mean, so you look at it and say, Aubameyang, yes, did well for Borussia Dortmund as we speak. Is the highest goal scorer in the Bundesliga with 17 goals, but I don't think that's enough to see him off Mahrez.
And guys, even if we're not given a chance, shout out to Sadio Mane and his sort of consistency has also shown with his football.
Especially for Liverpool.
For Liverpool.
For Senegal, Senegal went through the qualifiers without with maximum points.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome for them. And he just came into the radar when his football kind of blows on when he joined Liverpool.
That's
He's
right.
been very, very.
It was also impressive at Southampton.
Yeah.
You know, left, came to Liverpool. You expect that, oh, this is a place where he might just fizzle out.
The transition has been good.
You know one thing about playing for big teams, you're always under the spotlight. Southampton cannot be regarded as one of the big teams in England. And since he moved over to Liverpool, it just puts him in the shopping window. And for him to have turned in the kind of performances he's been turning in, it just means he deserves a place on that list.
Okay, so that's it. It's between Riyad Mahrez, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and Sadio Mane for the 2017 CAF Awards. We'll continue to monitor that one until it is done. The event will take place at the International Convention Center in Abuja, Nigeria, on the 5th of January 2017. Joseph Atele says, is Mahrez or Mahrez? Alfredo Coligwe says, we might just be shocked. Aubameyang will win it. Where are you putting your money? Talk to us, Twitter channels _sports. CAF African-based player nominees. I like the inclusion of Uganda's Dennis Onyango. Very, very, very heartwarming. Rainford Kalaba of Zambia, and then Kama Billiard of Zimbabwe and Mamelodi Sundowns. Again, no Nigerian. It doesn't.
So these are the guys that made it to the last stages of the CAF Champions League. So it's they played the most number of matches, so they deserve to be here. For the South African-based pair of Billions and Dennis Onyango, they were at the FIFA Club World Cup. Got knocked two matches at the assembly back in South
Africa. It's okay, experience in the bag.
Experience is that they just have it under their belt. But the kind of football that Mamelodi Sundowns played in that qualifier, they could just Enyimba felt had the taste of what they could bring to the party. It's all good for them. I think they've learned their lessons. Whether they will put up this kind of performance again and play to the later stages. But so bad news for them is that we have Rangers International in the fray for the CAF Champions League next season. I don't know who did that draws.
No, but Joseph, we keep saying this. I like this African-based player because it just gives us an idea of players to watch right here in Africa, and that's actually an impressive list.
Well, I think the winner will be picked based on his performance with in the CAF Champions League, which is a million African competition. Look at it and see Dennis Onyango with Mamelodi Sundowns, fantastic. And I'm talking about Rainford Kalaba. Yes, did well with TP Mazembe, but I think he would come third in that one. It's between Dennis Onyango, one tipping to get the award.
Interesting for me on that list. You find out that two players from the South African clubs are not from South Africa.
Yeah.
One from Zimbabwe, the other from Uganda.
Yeah.
From Tupisa Mazembe, DR Congo.
Yeah.
He's a Zambian.
The Zambian.
Just shows you the level of movement when it comes to the continent. African football clubs are beginning to look at collaborating with neighbors and the rest of them. And a large number of them coming to the country now, playing the Nigerian Premier
And it
League.
speaks a lot about the development of football in Africa, because leagues are beginning series to get it better. We have foreigners come to Nigeria to play, and then we have the South African PSL also doing so well. So that's really heartwarming. So there you have it, the short list for the CAF Player of the Year and the CAF African-based player nominee. So I don't know who will win, but you could talk to us. Tell us, where are you putting your money? On Twitter, channels _sports, Facebook channels @sports. Let's go on another quick break. Take a breather. When we come back, Oscar is going to China. Can you believe it? Oscar is going to China. Let's talk about that one briefly before we go on a quick break. I've looked at this Oscar story, and I'm saying to myself that what could be the motivating factor, Joseph? Is it passion or just the money?
Well, I think the reason why I work is to earn money. And look at Oscar at Chelsea, has won the Champions League, if I'm correct, has won the Europa League, has won the league under Jose, if I'm correct with those stats. I mean, he has won everything as far as football is concerned. Maybe aside the World Cup with Brazil in that. So at this point, moving to China, you want to agree with me that your spade is due. So going to China at this point is all about the money for him. Because you ask yourself, okay, what else do you want Oscar to win? He might win more Premier Leagues, no doubt about that. But at this point, going at this tender age, make the money. We've seen Cristiano Pele, move from Southampton to China. We've seen Ramos
I'll let
China,
you pause
so
on
it's
that.
all about
We'll come back to this. We'll come back to this. Let's go on a breather. Let's take a breather. When we come back, we'll continue discussion. Oscar, don't go anywhere. Stay with us.